For today's practice, if you don't already have your things together, you will need a bolster or cushion or rolled up blanket, whatever you have to hand, and 2 blocks preferably, or some thick books or more cushions, and the optional blanket and high pillow. Today's practice is Hatha Yoga for the heart chakra. As you may or may not be aware, we've been moving through the chakras every week. So today we arrive at the 4th chakra, Anahata. And this chakra is located at the heart space at the center of our chest, along the Sushumna Nadi, that central channel in our body from the base of the pelvis to the crown of the head. So the focus today will be on gentle, slow back bends and heart openers. It will all be done mindfully, hence the practice being in the style of Hatha. I'd love for you to begin the practice today in child's pose, Balasana, with the option of adding props. So if you're adding props, the first one might be a blanket under the knees for extra padding. And then the other option is to add a couple of blocks in front of you and then place your bolster on top. You don't have to do this. You can come into traditional child's pose, melting your chest and forehead towards the floor. But this is a more restorative option if you would like it today. So once you have your props in place, just making sure that your bolster is quite close to your midline. And then you'll start to melt your belly, your chest, and one of your ears to your props. Your arms can be resting gently by your sides. The elbows can be bent. Some of you might choose to extend your arms here, depending on how that feels in your shoulders and in your neck. If you don't have props underneath you, you might have your forehead to the earth, or you might be raising your forehead on a prop, especially if you have high blood pressure or any dizziness or vertigo. Once you arrive in our opening shape, I invite you to close your eyes and start to soften around your lower belly, allowing the lower belly to hang heavy between your 2 legs, not pulling in, not contracting, but softening. The reason I've invited you into child's pose for our first shape is so that we can pay attention to the back of the heart, the back of the lungs, the back of the rib cage. I invite you to breathe into those spaces and give thanks to the spine and the rib cage for being this protective shell that nurtures vital organs on the front of the body, keeps the heart protected. Breathe love and space into the back of the body. The heart chakra, Anahata, is governed by the air element. It seems appropriate that we begin our practice with lots of breath, filling up spaces in the back of the body. As we stay here for a few more breaths, I now invite you to visualize the heart space, this green spinning vortex of energy, and observe it radiating from the back of your body. If you have an ear resting to a bolster or cushion, you might choose now to just gently turn your head the other way, rest the other ear, as we stay here for just a few more breaths. This chakra was developed between the ages of 4 and 7 years old. And it is our home of love and compassion and kindness towards ourselves, towards others. It is our home of ahimsa, non-violence. Allow yourself 5 more breaths here. And very gently, very slowly press into your hands, look down at the mat, and come up onto your hands and knees. You can remove any props that are underneath you. Find yourself in a tabletop position, maybe keeping the blanket under your knees if needed. In tabletop, check your hands are stacked underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. Your toes can be tucked or untucked. And your belly button is gently drawing towards your spine so there's no collapse in your middle back. Take a little bit of movement side to side of your pelvis and your rib cage. And then let's sweetly move through a couple of cycles of cat and cow. So as you inhale, tilt your tailbone towards the sky, soften your belly towards the floor, and rise your chin and your chest. As you exhale, round the back and look towards your belly button. Again, inhale, come forwards and up using your whole inhale breath to complete the movement. And exhale, rounding the spine, look towards the belly. One more cycle. Inhale, forwards and up, heart lifting. And exhale as you round. Lovely. Come back to a neutral position and start to walk your hands forwards and wide. Coming into puppy pose and a Hatha asana. Keep your pelvis nice and high and melt your chest and your forehead closer to the floor. So this is a shape that looks between child's pose and downward facing dog. For some of you, this will feel great around your chest and shoulders. For others of you, you might need to bend more into your elbows and put more of your forearms on the floor. Some of you will rest your forehead to the floor or your chin to the floor, looking forwards. Some of you will place a block underneath the forehead or underneath the chin. Keep drawing your belly button towards your spine. This helps to massage your digestive system and start to send your lovely breath into your heart space. If you prefer, you could take your arms wide or more parallel, depending on how this feels for your shoulders. And you also have the option to come up onto your fingertips, lifting more of your arm bones away from the floor. That might feel good for some of you. Couple of long, nourishing breaths here. Squeezing the breath along the front lines of your torso, while in this gentle compression for the back. Three more breaths. And very gently start to walk your hands closer to you into tabletop position and exhale your breath. You might enjoy a little movement again, rocking the hips side to side. From here, you can either remain in tabletop or tuck the toes, spread the fingers into the floor, lift the pelvis towards the sky, coming into downward facing dog. Lengthening the backs of the legs as you start to ground the heels towards the mat. And relax the head between the arms. Observe your shoulder blades, moving down the back of your rib cage. Keep the elbows soft. And keep drawing the belly button to the spine. On your next inhale, float your right leg gently towards the sky, not too high. Exhale, right knee hugs into your chest and step the right foot lightly between your hands. Lower your left knee to the earth. Either stay on your fingertips here or place your two hands onto your front thigh, lifting your chest. Or option to float your two arms into the sky. Low crescent lunge, spreading your front toes into the earth, hugging your right hip slightly back and your left hip slightly forward so you feel an engagement through your inner legs. Belly buttons pulling in, lower ribs hugging down. Lift a little more through your chest, maybe start to look towards the sky. And as you next exhale, bending your elbows into cactus arms. So you have your elbows the same height as your shoulders, arms facing forwards. Take an inhale breath and squeeze your shoulders back. Lift your chin, chest up. As you exhale, bring your fingertips and elbows to touch in front of you and bow your chin to your chest. Again, inhale, open your heart, open your arms, look up. Exhale, bring fingertips and elbows together. Testing balance. One more time. Inhale, open the arms. This is also a moving meditation. You're already moving with the breath. When the breath is ready, exhale, fingers and elbows together. Bring those two hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, turn the chest to the right and put your left elbow as far up your outer right thigh as you can. And keep turning your expansive chest and heart to the right. Option to keep your back toes tucked and your back knee on the floor. Option to lift that left knee off the mat. Pressing the left heel towards the back of the room and hugging your left knee up towards your left thigh. Really strong engagement through the two legs. Keep squeezing through the inner legs. Keep lifting your torso off that front thigh, turning your heart to the Lord. Beautiful. Look down at your mat, lower your left knee. Inhale, bring your two arms up overhead. And exhale, lower your hands. Stepping back to down dog or tabletop. And exhale your breath. It might feel nice to gently rock your hips side to side. On your next inhale, option to ripple forward into a plank position, leading the movement from the tailbone all the way up the spine until the crown of the head is extending forwards. You can always lower your knees here in plank pose. As you exhale, bend your elbows and come all the way down to the mat in one piece. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Press the tops of your feet to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra, lifting your expansive heart. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, baby cobra. Try and use the strength from your back to lift your chest. Maybe your hands or just your fingertips come off the floor. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, rise. Maybe hands come off the mat. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, press into your fingers, and come into either down dog, tabletop, or child's pose, and take 3 breaths. Observe breath filling up your lungs, both front and back now. And on your next inhale from down dog or tabletop, float your left leg into the sky. Hug your left knee into your chest and lightly step your left foot between your hands. Lower your right knee to the earth. Keep your fingers on the mat if you prefer, or 2 hands on your top thigh, or as you lift your chest, maybe both arms rise up. As you bring your pelvis a little more forwards and down, you're thinking about engaging through the inner legs, keeping a nice space across your lower back. Maybe a couple rolls of your wrists if they're overhead. Looking a little higher to the sky, extending upward, finding a little back bend to the upper back. Another inhale like this. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, come into those cactus arms or goddess arms. Yeah, from here, inhale, elbows and shoulders move back as chest and chin lift up. And as you exhale, bring fingertips and elbows together and bow your chin down. 2 more cycles, moving with the breath. Inhale to open fully, expansively. Exhale to close. 1 more cycle. Inhale to open, expanding that green center from your chest. Exhale to close. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at the center of your chest. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, turn your chest to the left. Engaging your core. Hooking your right elbows high up your outer left thigh as is comfortable. And keep opening and turning your chest left. Trying to bring your thumbs and your sternum to connect. Maybe option to lift that back knee off the floor. Just an option. If it doesn't feel great on this side, even if you did it on the first side, you can always put that knee down. If you lower your back knee, look down at your left foot. Bring your hands back to your heart and up to the sky. And then exhale, lower your hands to the mat. Stepping back to down dog, tabletop or child's pose. And add a little bit of movement into the hips if that feels good. Release your exhale breath. And if you wish, inhale, rippling forwards again into your plank position, nice and strong and long. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, coming all the way to the earth in one piece. Inhale, baby cobra, with or without the use of your hands. Exhale, lower. Now option, interlacing your hands on your lower back. Rolling your shoulders up, back and down, and on your next baby cobra, you're lifting your chest and you're also lifting your arms away from your back body. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. Place your hands either side of your rib cage, touch your toes, press back to down dog, tabletop or child's pose. Take 3 breaths. Observe how you are. And let's meet on our hands and knees. And then sitting back onto your heels. If that's not comfortable for you, you could always place a bolster or cushion between your seat and your heels. Or if having the legs in this compressive position is not for you, you can simply come around to a seat and find Sukhasana. Maybe you have a prop under your pelvis. Maybe you prefer to have your legs out in front of you. So find what works. We're coming into pranayama and mantra. So I invite you to place one hand on your heart now. Close your eyes. Connect to breath and feeling the rhythm of your heart beating against your hand. The mantra is YAM, Y-A-N. And this is the vibrational sound of the heart chakra and Hatha. So when we make this sound through our bodies, it stimulates, it activates the heart space. So I invite you either to silently or audibly repeat the word YAM, Y-A-N. We're going to do this 10 times. I will count so you can simply enjoy the mantra. Take a big breath in to begin. Yam, 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 yam. Yam, 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 yam. Last 2. Yam, yam. Gently return to a steady, regular breath. And quite simply observe and feel. And here we'll move into Brahmari Pranayama, a humming deep breath. Is soothing on the nervous system, For this breath, you want to create a humming quality sound that vibrates up to the crown of your head. So think about this humming sound coming from the back of your throat and the back of your skull. You take the humming sound on your exhale breath. On your inhale breath, you simply breathe in through your nose. I will show you a demonstration first, and then we will begin When you're ready, you can join in. Imagine the hum is like the end sound in home. It's deep, it's slow, it's steady. Take a deep breath in to begin. Continue on. The beauty of this breath is that everybody's length of breath will be different, so you start to get this ocean sound of humming in the room. You feel that vibration at the center of your chest, into your hand. A few more cycles of this. Return to a steady, regular breath. Just notice and feel once again. Your next inhale, sweep both of your arms into the sky. Wrap your right hand around your left wrist and start to take a gentle side stretch to the right. Keep your chest facing forwards, your shoulders moving down your back. Inhale back to center and swap sides. Left hand around right wrist, leaning to the left. And inhale back to center. Exhale, lower both of your hands. Inhale, lift your shoulders towards your ears. Exhale, release your shoulders back and down. From here, we'll move into a reclined, supported back bend. So taking your bolster or rolled up blanket or cushion and placing it at the far end of your mat. You might choose to take another block and place it underneath your bolster where your head is going to be. So you're on more of an incline as you come down. I'll show you this version. I'm also going to show you a version with just 2 blocks. So see how this one goes. This one is more gentle on the back. It's softer and not so high. You keep your pelvis on the earth and you start to lower your back onto your bolster until your head rests, checking in that your pelvis is still on the floor. Sometimes the pelvis starts to lift, especially if this back bend is starting to feel uncomfortable for people. So if that's the case, you might roll up your blanket or a cushion and place that underneath your pelvis, so your pelvis has a little more elevation. Soles of your feet toe together and your knees go wide towards Uttanasana, reclined butterfly. If that is not for you, then you could have your legs nice and long and wide in Shavasana, or you could have your feet as wide as your mat, knees bent, and just let your knees touch in the center. Hands can be on the lower belly, or arms wide across the floor, really feeling that opening across the chest. So that is the option with the bolster. If you would rather play with the blocks, this is a deeper back bend, so please be mindful of that. You're going to set up your blocks in a T shape like so. So one block will go in between your shoulder blades, the other block will be for the back of your head. So you're going to lay your blocks out on your mat in that T shape, and then we are going to come down. I've just noticed my blocks have little teeth marks in from my copy. From here, you will lower yourself onto your forearms, and then you will place that first block in between the shoulder blades, and then find your second block for the back of your head. You can always put the second block higher, at a higher height, especially if you're noticing there is a lot of compression in the back of your neck. And like I said, this option is definitely not for everybody. It is a deeper back bend. You can put something under your pelvis in this shape too if you need to. And it's the same options for your legs. We're either in reclined butterfly, or we're in long Shavasana legs, or we're having our knees bent, feet wide, and so find the right fit for your body today. If any of these props don't feel great, no problem. Just slide them away, come onto your back as you are, and choose your shape from there. Our work here is to create more space and expansion across the chest and heart. So whatever that looks and feels like for you on your back today. For some of you, you'll lay still and quiet now, just simply breathing and feeling that place of love and compassion at the center, exploring what that means and looks like for you. Some of you might enjoy giving yourself a little self-care, a little self-massage here. So you can play with just gently rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. Allowing your shoulders to rub against the props that are underneath you and feel really good. Another option is to place your hands on your shoulders and make circles with your elbows. The final option would be to float your arms all the way up to the sky and all the way back behind you. And then exhale, taking your arms wide and down. Try anytime you're lifting your arms, elbows, or shoulders up, it's on your inhale breath. Anytime your arms, shoulders, or elbows move down, it's on your exhale breath. So this too becomes a moving, breathing meditation. You're allowing the breath to lead the movement, not the other way around. Explore another 5 breaths in the shape, either moving or in stillness. ready, you can start to bring your hands to the outsides of your legs. If you're in butterfly, carefully bring your knees together. If your legs are in Shavasana, just bending your knees now, placing your feet to the mat. And there are two ways to come out of this shape. You can either gently roll onto your side and just push the props away, or you can come up onto your forearms and then up onto your hands and lift yourself to a seat. Move the props from behind you and then simply roll all the way back down. And just allow yourself to really feel. Try not to do too much here. Just get yourself in a comfortable, neutral position. Maybe one hand to belly, one hand to heart. And just breathe expansively into the mat. Observe if there's any newfound space around your chest, your heart. There's been an improvement in your lung capacity during this practice. Are your breaths any longer, any deeper now? How are you feeling? How are you feeling emotionally, physically? Connect to yourself. Be tender, be kind with yourself. Be compassionate. You are wonderful as you are. You are enough as you are. From here, we'll simply, sweetly and slowly move into Shavasana, our last shape together. Feel free to just simply extend your legs and arms out long and wide. Feel free to add a bolster into your knees or some cushioning into your head. Feel free to add your blankets and your eye pillow. Let your arms and legs be wide. Slide any props out of the way that you're not using so your whole body is free to extend and expand across the floor without any restrictions. As you start to settle and wind down into Shavasana, I want you to read a little excerpt from The Yamas and Niyamas by Deborah Dell. From the Yama Ahimsa. You can have hearts that are full of love for others and intentions to love that are pure. But the truth is, we will express that love for others by treating them the same way we treat ourselves. Love lies at the core of nonviolence and begins with our love of self. Not a love that is egocentric, but a love that is forgiving and lenient. A love that sees the humor in the imperfections and accepts the fullness of the human expression. I will call you from Shavasana when it is time. Until then, no more to do. time to dedicate to your Shavasana today, please take that time, stay as you are. And however it's time for you to come out now, start to wiggle your fingers and toes, and roll your wrists and ankles. A nice slow full body stretch as you inhale. And as you exhale, hug your knees to your chest. Send yourself some love, give yourself a big hug. And gently rock on your back. Until you land gently on your right side. The active side of the body. Slowly rise up to a tall seat of Sukhasana, whatever that may look for you. You can anchor your hands back to your thighs. You can rest hands on your heart space, or bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Bow your head sweetly in towards yourself. Repeat the following mantra silently. I love. And finish the sentence. I love. Now that we have spent time here on our mats, filling up our own love tank, may the overspill from this be what we share out with others, never leaving ourselves depleted, but sharing the expanse, the ripple effect. It's my pleasure to guide you. Thank you so much for being part of this practice. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.